Welcome back to the Zodiac Trial. Just before we get going, I just want to say I'm really glad that this series has gone over so well with you guys. It's one of those things I wasn't sure at first, but I mean I'm the kind of thing I'm gonna finish a game because if I'm enjoying it, I'm gonna finish it on here. But still, it is a little disappointing at times to see some things just kind of drag on and get passed over. I know I upload a lot of stuff, so that's gonna happen, but in this case, I'm really glad to see the mystery pulling you guys in as much as it has me. So, thank you for that. It's made this really fun to do, to be perfectly honest. On top of exploring the mysteries out there in here currently. Speaking of mysteries, boy do we ever have some more mysteries. Let's see, to recap this route so far, if we don't reveal the fault in Brian's plan, which had to have been intentional. If we don't reveal the fact that we can just get rid of the Dune personalities, we get burned to death. Offhand. Oh, sorry, we get shot. I have vague memories of this, because this was a while ago. Which one could presume many things from that. Given that the Dune personalities are still in play, if we don't use the trinkets to take him out, one could presume that this might have been Ox. You could also theorize that maybe our three involved people that we named in the computers were involved somehow. I know someone mentioned Bunny, the scene where Rooster found a pistol somewhere and Bunny confiscated it. Maybe Bunny. I don't know. Wouldn't put it past him. Jerry. The computer scene is really interesting. That's one that I want to watch again sometime to try and process what we might have actually discovered there just by poking around deeper. Now, presumably, based on what we know about the four computers, they all had 4 logins based on 4 animals, and the logins involved their real names and their roles in the crime. So we know we have Bunny, we have Tiger, and we have Ox. And we have the 4th computer, which was already unlocked. If you remember, the 4th role that went unused was the judge. And we know that from the library computer that the one name in the list of jurors that Mouse didn't recognize, the one picture that Mouse didn't recognize was of the judge from the Amadeus Bowen murder trial. Who had died of natural causes sometime before the game, and who presumably Mouse was brought in to replace. There's still a motive behind that is in question. We have the Mouse route, where Mouse directly and indirectly got everyone else killed. But Brian doesn't glorify her with a response when she reaches the conclusion that this is what Brian wanted. So we don't actually know there, but we do have the scene in this case where Brian contacts Mouse when she's alone. Which means that maybe she was onto something then. Which, if you think back on that, perhaps that wasn't what Brian wanted, for everyone to get killed. As he set up a game where everyone kept their wits about them and worked together, no one would have to die. Gonna say we're gonna have to hear more from him about his motives in the end. But it seems to me like this is an experiment in human nature. There is a way out. But like you introduce a win condition. A true win condition. Okay, so you bring this gang together, give them an end goal, you introduce the stimulus to sow distrust, the doom personalities. But you have a win condition in the game that if they keep calm and work together, they can discover. Will they discover it? Or will they give in to their base instincts and kill to survive? Maybe it's a case of even if his father... I was gonna say, maybe in some weird roundabout way, this is a way of saying what happened to my dad could happen to anyone under the right circumstances. Like, maybe in a weird way he's come to terms with what his dad did. Maybe the untwist is that his dad did kill Amadeus Bowen. And instead of wanting to prove him innocent after all this time, maybe he wants to show the world that under the right circumstances, maybe good people can become killers. While at the same time, a ton of people here have connections to the trial and the Bowens. Maybe a two birds with one stone. Vindicate his father in a weird roundabout way, and expose the blackmail ring. That is probably still functional. At any rate, we have to deal with ending number 3 here. Because there was weird things going on between Dragon and Snake. Weird things going on between Dragon and Snake. When Mouse interrupted, she just got fucking shanked. That was a cliffhanger we left off on. And I have to figure out where I actually saved. Is this where I saved? This is the last save I have? Don't intervene. Okay, after thinking about it some more, I really wasn't my place to intervene in every single petty squabble that happened. They're both adults. They could work things out themselves. Best to let things play out naturally. So as the two walked down the hallway, I didn't pay them mind. However, as the minutes passed, I couldn't help but notice that they hadn't yet returned. Even as everyone else was gathered around the TV, even as the round and announcement was about to go off, they weren't here. The hell? Before I could think about it too much, the screen finally cut on. Here's the moment of truth. What shouldn't have been tense suddenly felt as such. Round 9 has ended. Now let us see how the race has progressed. The rat has hitched a sneaky ride on Ox. The ox has used a minor trinket. The ox has moved to the finish line. Thanks to the sneaky ride, the rat also moves to the finish line. The tiger has used a minor trinket. The tiger has moved to the finish line. The bunny has used a minor trinket. The bunny has moved to the finish line. The dragon has failed to input an action. Yep, they're dead. The snake has failed to input an action. The horse has used a minor trinket. The horse has moved to the finish line. The sheep has used a minor trinket. The sheep has moved to the finish line. The monkey has used a minor trinket. The monkey has moved to the finish line. The rooster has used a minor trinket. The rooster has moved to the finish line. The dog has used a minor trinket. The dog has moved to the finish line. The pig has used a minor trinket. The pig has moved to the finish line. The finish line has been crossed. The winners are mouse, ox, tiger, bunny, horse, sheep, monkey, rooster, dog, and pig. Congratulations. Anyone who has not won has lost. Prepare for execution. Click. What? What the hell was this? Didn't even register the fact that the collar around my neck had become unlocked. Oh, why does Best Girl have to die at the last second? That couldn't. It couldn't possibly be right, could it? No way, it just wasn't possible. We had won. We had worked together. We had beaten Brian's game. So why? Why was it ending like this? Why did we still have 2 casualties? The others looked similarly confused. What on earth? Hey, is there a mistake here or something? This isn't good. We should go check on those 2 to see what has... Monkey didn't finish her sentence. She didn't need to. We got the picture. Everybody, they went this way. Took initiative, leading the group to where I knew Dragon and Snake had gone. I hurriedly walked to a scene that I didn't want to see. Unfortunately, as I peered into an open classroom down the hallway, my fears were confirmed. No! The others crowded around to see the executed bodies of Dragon and Snake. I didn't need to do a thorough check to know what had happened. The blood on the floor, around their necks, painted the picture just fine. What? Why didn't they input their actions? Those guys. Damn it. Were they seriously so caught up in an argument that they didn't notice the time limit for the round? This is why I said we should have all inputted our actions at the start of the round. Huh. That's what happened. That's a pretty dumb way to die. Believe me, I've seen a lot of dumb ways. Oh, for the love of... Shut up, dog! Actually, I don't think that's why. That's what happened. Look, Dragon is gripping onto Snake's tablet and vice versa. So what do you say? They got their tablets mixed up. There's no way! Each tablet has its respective animal drawn on its back very clearly. Maybe they forgot what their animal looked like. A dragon's kinda like a snake when you think about it. Rooster, I do not believe jokes are appropriate at this time. Right. And? I'm not joking. Never mind. I don't think this is a simple mix-up. The 2 were arguing before, right? Maybe one deliberately operated the other's tablet to kill them. What? It's possible. If you wanted to kill someone, this would be the prime time to do so. But both of them are dead. How do you explain that? Perhaps whoever was killed lunged out and operated the other person's tablet as they were being executed. Is that possible? I'd think so. Especially if the first one was down. First one down was someone vengeful like Dragon. All these words were blurring together. I had stopped listening a while ago. Instead, I was just... seething. Time to go fuck up Brian. Hating. I was just angry. Very angry with Brian. Furious with him. Maybe this is what Brian wanted. Furious with his bullshit game. Maybe Brian wants to draw you in, Mouse. Remembered his smug voice when I told him that we had won. Did he expect something like this would happen? Did he instigate it? Maybe he did instigate it and he killed Mouse for interfering with his instigation. Regardless of the truth of the matter, Brian had now crossed a line. To kidnap us was one matter. To kill two of us, something entirely else. But how to... I took off my collar. Hey, Mouse, where are you going? Mouse, wait up! I walked faster. Mouse. Not sure if this is the time for a dramatic exit. Let her do her thing. Probably needs to blow off some steam. Their voices were getting quieter. I was getting farther from the classroom. Closer to the door at the front of the building. Soon enough, I got to the entrance. Or rather, the exit. Grabbed the doorknob and pulled. I expected that it would be locked. However, to my surprise, I was able to open the door quite easily. Hello. I suppose the collar's on our neck were the real deterrent to leaving the building. As I walked outside, I could once again feel the sun on my skin. I could breathe fresh air. I was free. I could run straight back home. That's what I'd normally be thinking. However, none of those thoughts crossed my mind. Instead, I had a single goal in mind. Now, where did Brian say he was? I looked around, and soon enough I saw the small building by the football field he was referring to. I strode towards it confidently. A punch? Thought he was only going to get a punch from me? He thought his sins were worth a punch? No. I was going to teach him how it felt to be choked out. I stormed the building with such frustration. However, as I actually stood by the door, I hesitated for a moment. Was I being stupid? Could I really confront the Jade Emperor? No. This wasn't the Jade Emperor. This was just some sick kid. A kid in need of punishment. Time slowed down. I gripped the door handle. Began to open the door. I felt some weird resistance as I pulled it open. Uh-oh. What was this feeling? This feels bad. My eyes darted downwards. Was that a wire in the door crack? Oh my god. Just made me think about what a... The news surrounding the incident that took place at XXXX High School is still incoming. To get more information surrounding the incident. Truly, this appears to be the story of the year. News of the purported death game has been sweeping the nation, as millions are eager to know what exactly happened. Luckily, it appears the mastermind behind this event has already passed away. Still, it is a true tragedy. The bodies of a local community leader and a respected teacher at the high school were found inside the premises, apparently executed by a crude mechanical device strapped to their necks. Local community leader? Now that's interesting. Additionally, a young law student was caught in a fatal explosion, killed by a device rigged inside the operating base of the mastermind. Police suspect that the mastermind intended to die alongside whoever came to capture him in a final act of terrorism. Indeed, the body of the mastermind was found incinerated inside the base. Perhaps most shockingly, this mastermind has been identified as one Brian Morris, a senior at the very high school the incident took place at. Motive for such an act of terror? The boy was purportedly vengeful for his father, whom he considers wrongfully executed. Indeed, the victims of the mass kidnapping incident all have some connection to another mysterious case from years past. Many are skeptical that such an absurdly complex act of terror could be carried out by a single child. Indeed. However, investigations into the matter highly support the idea that Brian acted alone. Records of him manufacturing the bizarre collars used in the incident, as well as getting his hands on a variety of dangerous weapons, have been found. This has re-sparked a long-held debate in this nation regarding restricting access to such things. Additionally, proof that Brian kidnapped directly at least 9 of the victims that night before the incident has been found, with heavy circumstantial evidence remaining for the final 3. Notebooks owned by Brian show the frightening process in which he concocted the idea for the death game, as well as the various items he would hide, where he would hide them, and additional details. A thorough sweep of the high school reveals that most, if not all, of the ideas Brian had written down were, in fact, present. These notes show that Brian was apparently considering a handful of other candidates for his sadistic game. The alternate candidates include the judge responsible for handling the sentence of Aaron Morris, Chief of Police Bowen, and Anna Red, an associate of the late Amadeus Bowen. The system used to operate the entire endeavor has also been poured through. A frightening amount of forethought went into coding the system on which the death game ran. Analysis reveals that a majority of the game is handled automatically, with plenty of voice clips being pre-recorded. However, other aspects of the game were manually operated via a custom app the mastermind installed on a burner phone. With all this evidence combined with the testimonies of the surviving victims, the police are currently concluding that Brian Morris acted alone in this unprecedented act of terror. While the official investigation into this incident may be coming to a close, the public is still left with many questions. Ace of Spades. The perfect sequence of events. The only casualties are the necessary one. No! A highly reliable path with minimal room for error. Should be easy to arrange and sets the stage perfectly. For what? The intended result. The deck of cards are dropped back onto the table. I've got it. Are you sure? I know you've been shuffling through that deck of cards for hours now, which, creepy I might add. But you weren't actually doing much. Oh, I was doing plenty. I've died, a couple dozen times at this point? More? Wasn't keeping track, but that's besides the point. Okay then. So, are we good now? Of course. I've mapped out the perfect sequence to take care of things just the way you want. Fantastic. I knew I could count on you. So what now? Things should already be in the process of being put into action at this point, correct? There's not much left. For now, I'll handle capturing the mouse, and you handle the rest. Think you can handle that? Of course I can. Don't condescend me. I wouldn't dream of it. And like that, the room had one person in it. It's funny, mapping everybody's lives on a board like this. Moving them like pieces. Having them completely under my control. It's liberating. Now I'm the one that makes the decisions. I take no joy in reporting this to you. However... What's wrong with the brat? I don't know how else to put it. I believe your child is suffering from an inability to feel emotions, or at least a severe impairment to do so. Looking at things historically... sorry about that. I believe your child is suffering from an inability to feel emotions, or at least a severe impairment to do so. Looking at things historically, the softest symptom of the brain lacking. The game crashing could not have happened at a better point there, if we're being perfectly honest. Hold on, I don't give a damn about the science of it all. Are you telling me that my kid's a freak? Oh no. Now hold on, I didn't say freak. That would be highly unprofessional if I did. Let's be careful with the terminology. You're saying they can't feel emotions? That's sociopathic. That's the epitome of being a freak. The doctor was wrong. Okay, so we have red voice and green voice. Red voice is clearly in control. I wonder if green voice is Brian. It's not that I couldn't feel emotions. It's just that I didn't need to feel them unless I wished to. I had control over them in a very literal sense. Really, this was an advantage, wasn't it? No, there were drawbacks to it. I learned pretty quickly that my reactions weren't like the others. I was viewed differently than the others. To remedy that, I got better at leaving them on all the time. For a time, that was perfect. I was able to blend in, more or less. It took me a while before I came to the painful realization of how careless I was being, leaving them on like that. Since then, I've learned. Why am I thinking about that person now, of all times? This is unproductive. Maybe I could sympathize with them a bit more now. After all, it really does feel good to be in control of other people's lives. Welcome to the Zodiac Trial, a game by Themis. A game about the titular Zodiac Trial, where we play as a law student in way over her head, trapped with 11 other jurors, all trapped together for one very simple reason: to face judgment. What can I say? Will you all group up, try to work together, see if everyone can solve the puzzles and reach the truth as a group? Will one of you let your true nature slip, resorting to selfish betrayal to make a way out? The choice is up to you. Very zero escape vibes. So, and as you know, those sorts of vibes are right up my alley. See, I was first told about this in January, but things being what they were, only got around to this now. Apologies for that, but I'm still really interested in this game. Think. Become a demon. Play with toys. Control the future. Oh. Jesus Christ, my head aches. It's like I can hear a blaring noise just ringing and ringing. Shut up. What's with the noise? Shut it up. What's with the noise? It's like it's real. Wait, it is real. I came to my senses. I realized that I was no longer blindfolded, no longer bound and gagged. Whatever alarm that was waking me up stops. I guess it finished doing its job. At this point, I realized there was something covering my face, that feeling on my face. I tried to pull it off, and to my surprise realized a mouse mask had been put over my head. Why on earth would that be here? More importantly, what was it stuck to? Some more investigation revealed that my throat was surrounded by a metallic, heavy necklace. The fuck? Immediately I tried to get it off, but unlike the mask, this thing was here to stay. That didn't seem good. But I couldn't dwell on that. I needed to address the situation. So what did I know? It looked like I was in some sort of science classroom. Now then, why would that be the case? I pondered that. I noticed another person, a man, getting to his feet. Whoa, what the fuck? Ah. Hey, what the hell's going on? Who are you? Easy, I don't know what's happening. After calming down, I realized that the man and I were on the same page. We were kidnapped, put into some sort of ludicrous situation. For now we decided to go by the animal names of the masks that we woke up in. Looking around, our situation seemed pretty grim. Locked in what appeared to be a school without any idea of why we were taken. Before long, a voice went on over the speakers. Good morning, Rat. Good morning, Ox. How was your sleep? What's this? Some message from the kidnappers, I'd imagine. I hope you got some rest. You'll need it for the upcoming race. Be prepared for the jury to face judgment. I suggest you listen to what I have to say very carefully. Failure to comply with what I tell you will result in an immediate disqualification, and trust me, that outcome would leave no one satisfied. Now then, you should both promptly proceed to the starting line. In this case, that would be the cafeteria on the first floor. Right outside this room should be a staircase which will take you to the first floor, and from there it's simply a right turn to get there. Before you leave, make sure each of you grabs the tablet with your respective animal printed on it. Take good care of these, they will be critically important. That is all for now. Once again, come quickly. The Jade Emperor eagerly awaits your arrival. And with that, the speakers cut off, leaving us just standing there, processing what we had just heard. Let's process for a second, shall we? So, the start of the game, we had the setup with the talk about predestination, talk about shuffling the deck of cards. Oh man. I think I get it. We have to talk about predestination, talk about shuffling the deck of cards. Future is already decided. All depends on how we get there. we have two masterminds. One of them is clearly Brian. The other one is hereto unknown. We know from the news report on the Ace of Spades ending that Brian kidnapped 9 of the gang. 3 of them were uncertain. We know that there were 2 quote-unquote necessary deaths. Community leader, presumably Dragon. Which is interesting considering what we know about her. That it was phrased that way. Unless she really has. I would believe it if you told me that she had become a force for good in the community. Mainly because I happen to really like her character. And Snake. The high school teacher. 2 deaths were necessary. 3 people weren't kidnapped directly by Brian. We know the mastermind in red presumably kidnapped Mouse as the replacement for the judge. Were the 2 others Snake and Dragon? I don't know. Then we have the matter of best ending, and then going right back to the scene with Red Voice and Brian shuffling the cards, saying they found the way to the perfect. Presumably this also happened after we either got to the best ending or got all the cards. So literally, the game we just played through was all simulated outcomes of the death game they were planning. And now, we're in the true death game. The game starts now. I hope you're ready, everybody. Here we fucking go. After back and forth, we decided to comply with the voice trademark's orders, making our way down to the cafeteria. There we met with a whole bunch of interesting characters. An Olympian, a friendly-looking guy, and a gang leader. A creepy artist, an incredibly jacked dude. Hans. And a meek-looking girl. An apparent movie star, my therapist, to my great surprise. A journalist. And a scruffy-looking man who was eyeing me with plenty of suspicion. That's an interesting take on it. We all agreed to my suggestion of adopting our animal masks as monikers. The wait for some sort of explanation as to what was going on was certainly unpleasant. However, eventually a television turned on, showing a hooded person I could only assume to be the Jade Emperor. It demanded that we all put on our animal masks while they spoke. After we complied, they began to explain the situation we had found ourselves in. You all, if you have not yet realized, will be the 12 Zodiac animals who will compete in my race. I thought it might be like that. You might ask why you are animals. There are a number of good answers to this question, but to put it simply, you all live your lives with the awareness of animals. You go about, day by day, without a goddamn care in the world. Peacefully moving onwards, never stopping back, to reflect or apologize for your sins. Your murder. Our murder? What are you talking about? Oh, don't even pretend you don't know, you filthy, glory-hungry liar. You see, perhaps not all of you know it, but the 12 of you were the jury of a particular trial. Of course, you weren't the actual jury, I don't blame them. What I mean is that each of you made selfish or stupid choices. Each of you were complicit. Each of you decided to help hang an innocent man for a murder he did not commit. And this idea you all have, that you just get to walk away from that and not look at what you've done, it's sickening. It's not fair. You all deserve a chance to be punished. You all must be tried. So this is what we're doing today. A Zodiac Trial. A trial, as in we're being prosecuted. Perhaps my word choice has given off the wrong impression. Initially I had an idea more similar to that. However, I think instead we shall settle with a race. A race fitting for the beasts you are. So, are there rules to this trial? Finally, someone is asking the proper questions. Please take a look at this display. As you can see, your 12 animals are lined up on the left, going from top to bottom in the order they come on the calendar. You may also notice that there are 24 spaces between the starting line for the animals and the end of it. The aim of this race is to use the tablets provided to move your animal to the finish line as quickly as possible. That makes sense. Before continuing, I think it would be pertinent to address a certain rule you will likely find important. Each tablet may only be operated by its owner. Additionally, the owner must be alone in a room when using it. If you operate your tablet with another person in the room, or if someone else operates your tablet, you will be instantly executed. Executed? I expected something like this, but still it's a shock to hear it laid out like that. What the fuck? Hey dipshit, you think you could kill me that easily? Or what I can. For you see, each of your necklaces are outfitted with a devious device. At the mere push of a button, knives on the inside of the collar will come out, cleanly slicing your necks open and leaving you to die. How does it feel, knowing that just like that you could be executed? Dead. Feel fun? Is it enjoyable for you, scum? But I don't want to die. Calm down. We'll only be executed if we break your rules, right? There's a bit more to it than that. But you're right that I won't kill you for no reason. There'd be no point to any of this if I was just a senseless murderer. No, I guarantee that if all of you behave appropriately, every single one of you can leave here alive. He's not lying. And what does that entail? The race will consist of 12 rounds, starring John Cena. If no animals are able to get to the finish line at the end of the 12th round, all of you will be executed. Seriously, that's a... God, that movie. Nothing like early WWE Studios movies. Those movies would be a perfect fit for Rooster to star in, actually. Cheap action dramas. Every round will last 45 minutes. And The Condemned, that was actually a good movie. Even if it was cheap and a little corny itself. That's the only good one, The Condemned. Ironically, also a death game movie. God, why did WWE Studios make a lot of death game movies early on in their time? 12 rounds, I think, was the story of, like, detective racing around the city, doing the goals set out by a kidnapper to save some relative / family member / wife, possibly. They all kind of blend together. The Condemned was a literal death game with, like, exploding bracelets and convicts on a tropical island being filmed as reality TV and kill each other. Last one gets to not die, probably. Fun stuff. Take an action 45 minutes. If a participant does not take an action during a round, they will be executed. At the end of the round, the animals take their actions in order from the top of the screen to the bottom. Using the tablet, there are a few available actions to choose from. All animals are able to simply run. Choosing to run will move your animal one space forwards. You may also choose to use your animal ability. Each animal has their own ability which can help them in the race. Be sure to click the information button to learn what your ability does. Participants are also allowed to confess once per game. If you choose confess, then at the end of the round, when it is your animal's turn, you'll be given an opportunity. You may use this 1 minute opportunity to give a meaningful confession to me. Afterwards, I will rate the effectiveness of the confession, and your animal may move anywhere from 0 to 5 spaces. What's the basis for your ranking? I'm under no obligation to tell you that. Try it out for yourself if you're so curious. Finally, you can also choose to use an item. Throughout the school, I have hidden some things for practical use as well as items to be used in the race. Why have we, Given the shorthand leading up to this, we get to sit through all the rules all over again. A physical item will have a passcode on it. You put the password into your tablet to use it. Only one participant may use any given item per round. There are a total of 24 items in this school, a minor and major trinket for each animal. Oh, animal minor trinket. Minor trinket, movement takes forward. Everyone moves. When your trinkets have their effect! You figure out what they do finding them. Anyone can use them. What a childish game for us to stake our lives on. It really makes you all seem small in comparison, doesn't it? Anyway, that is the essence of this race. At the end of each round, after all the animals have taken their actions, if any animals haven't made it to the finish line, the race will end. Those at the finish line will have their collars automatically unlock, and everyone else will be executed. Ah! Seriously? How you choose to run the race is up to you. Hey Brian, I gotta ask you something. Hello? Brian? What are you talking about? Bri, buddy, where is he? Where's who? You told me I'd be seeing my old pal Ollie here. I'm not seeing him right now. What's up with that? Well, hello. Unceremoniously, the television cut off. It appeared Dog's comments had caught the Jade Emperor off guard. The hell was that about? You chatted with this asshole? No, not really. I was just trying to get a reaction out of the guy. I think I did my job pretty well, if you ask me. Well, damn, Dog. But, why'd you call him Brian? It appears our compatriot, Dog, has caught on to what I noticed. You noticed it too? Stake went on to explain who our mysterious captor was. The son of one Aaron Bowen. Wait, what? Wait, what? Things suddenly clicked into place for me. I realized how I fit into all of this. That's what this was? Aaron Bow? What? No, okay, that's gotta be a misspelling, right? This is Aaron Morris. Fuck this. Mouse, are you okay? Seriously, is this supposed to be revenge for your dad's execution? Okay, be in denial about your dad's guilt. Why take it out on me? That's a pretty big typo if it is. It's either a really big typo or a really big plot twist. Could have ruined your life to take revenge on someone who wasn't even involved? Or what, are you angry that my father wasn't able to save your dad up against all that evidence? My father believed in your dad's innocence, Brian, and he tried his best to save him. Because of that you put me through this shit? That's fucked up, and you know it. And you know it, Brian. Whoa, Mouse, you got a very right to be angry, but let's take a moment to calm down. Where do you get off trying to tell her to calm down? If anything, she should be more mad. God knows I am. After all, there's no goddamn reason I should be here. Now this is interesting. I haven't got the faintest idea what connects me to all of this. Really? Are you sure about that? What are you saying? You calling me a liar? No, not at all. I'm not calling you a truther. I'm just saying I would think you'd have some connection to this case. After all, I'm looking around, most of these people do. So think hard. Are you sure you're not involved in this at all? Of course I'm not. Bizarre. Hey, it's also weird that I'm here. I mean, what did I do to deserve this? Products I put out weren't unfair or anything, and a bunch of people reported on it all. From there, people began discussing their connection to this case. Based on what we know about you, Pig, I'd press X to doubt. It did seem like almost everyone had some reason for being here. Yet if many of those reasons seemed incredibly tenuous, then why was Dragon here? I've been wondering that this whole time. Shit. Regardless, the group couldn't focus on that. There were more important matters. We needed to deal with the stupid game that Brian had set up. There had to be some way of getting through it as a group. A couple of ideas were thrown around until an idea was formed. Look, let's just try the simplest solution. Simplest solution? What's that? I'm talking about the minor trinkets. I get it. Yeah, you do? There are 12 minor trinkets, and the movement is equal to the number of people using them. I love this. Just that one comment from Dog. That goes with everything we've learned about him. He's unpredictable, and he's crafty. The simulation never accounted for Dog's true unpredictability. And I really dig that. There are 12 minor trinkets, and their movement is equal to the number of people using them. If we are able to find all 12, we would be able to cross the finish line as a group in 2 rounds. Oh, that's a good idea, Horse. If we do that, we'll all be fine. So, we can all get out of this alive, then? Hey, have any of you all seen a knife like this before? Out of the blue, Dog put out a knife in front of everybody. What the hell? Why do you have something like this? As he held it out, it looked like he was scanning everybody's expressions. What the hell? Why do you have that? I keep it on my person at all times. I checked my boot and found that I still had it on me. Smart. I have to say, that's a real swanky knife. Ooh, can I play with it? No. Please. I already said no. Pretty please? Well, when you put it like that. Fine. What? Really? Of course not. Rooster pouted and turned to Monkey. Dog's mean. I'm aware. Dumb as it seemed, Rooster did have a point. Really? The knife was gold, and it had many intricate engravings on it. Okay, and just that it's swanky and it'd be fun to play with. It seemed pricey. Is there a point in this line of questioning? Not particularly. Just thought it'd be weird if anyone did have a knife like this. Especially since there are only 2 of these out there. Oh. If that's the case, why did you think one of us would have one? I don't know. Although, I do want one now. You think it's cool already? Check out this. Dog pressed a little button on the knife, and at the base of the knife fell down, revealing a little compartment. In said compartment, there appeared to be some sort of small metal capsule. A little hidey hole. He said this with enthusiasm, but again, it looked like Dog was more concerned with everybody's expressions than anything else. Dog is working hard right now. That's sick. Right? So how much would you be willing to pay for it? Paying's boring. I'll bet you something for it. That doesn't seem very fair. What would you be betting? I don't know. An Olympic medal, maybe? Be willing to part with that? I thought you said you didn't actually place in the Olympics. No, you don't have to place to get an Olympic medal. Huh? Yeah, they hand out commemorative medals to everybody who participates now. Really? What is happening to the world? Could everybody settle down? I'm not going to comment on that. We have gotten wildly off topic. One thing I'll say about that is the generation who complained about that sort of thing is the generation who instituted that sort of thing. And the generation who that generation blames for that hates the fuck out of that. We have gotten wildly off topic, and now we're moving on quickly. Did you all just forget we're in a life-or-death situation? But my swanky knife. Anyway, like Horse pointed out, with the trinkets, it would only take 2 rounds to finish the race. We have plenty of time to search, and this school isn't all that large. Let's first try to find all the minor trinkets. Sounds good. So then should we start our search? Actually, we should input a move. After all this talking, round 1's almost over. I looked over at a nearby clock, and I found that Bunny was absolutely right. Bunny's right. Let's all split up and input our run actions. After that, we can reconvene and start our search. The game plan, everybody split up and inputted their moves. We came back and watched the display on the screen track our progress. We then began discussing how we'd split up to look for trinkets. I was listening to the group when I heard something. I'm thinking about checking out the training room. I saw it beforehand, and I think there might be a trinket. A training room? By the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost, I think he's got it. Trinket's definitely hidden there. A shame I'm already accounted for in another group. Believe me, it's no shame at all. I don't want you to come with me. Would you quit snapping your fingers like that? You don't possess the rhythm for it to be cool. Actually, could I join you, Horace? I didn't know why. When I heard about the training room, something clicked in my brain. I felt like that it was definitely the right choice to make. So I decided to go with Horace. Sheep also tagged along, and sure enough, we were able to find something. It turned out to be a major trinket that didn't seem particularly useful. After that, we reconvened in the cafeteria at the end of the round. We then discussed where else to look, and when Bunny and Monkey discussed searching the third floor, I got a similar good feeling about it. So I ended up exploring a forum, Dog and Bunny, and eventually found a minor trinket that could act like a major trinket that could act like a minor trinket. Score! However, at the end of the third round, we were presented with more of a problem. The Jade Emperor came on the screen and introduced a bullshit new rule that affected the person with the accomplished personality, as well as the one with the weak personality. It set them up to have motives completely incompatible with the group. For a while, everyone was panicking, thinking that at least 2 people would have to die. However, I realized that if we combined the 2 major trinkets that I had previously found, we'd be able to save those affected by the twist. After proposing the idea to the group, everyone rejoiced, sure that I have solved Brian's puzzle. Not gonna lie, hearing all that praise made me feel pretty good. But there were more important issues to attend to. Couldn't feel safe until we were out of the building. Ox and Sheep admitted to having the aforementioned personalities, and using the trinkets we were able to save them. That matter settled, we could once again focus on searching for minor trinkets. It took some doing, but before long we had collected 11. Combining that with my ability, we'd be able to escape in 2 rounds. First round of using the trinkets went off without a hitch. However, as I entered the room to input my action the second time, the speakers kicked on. Well, are you happy, Mouse? Happy that you were all able to band together to finish things without any casualties? I imagine you aren't. You think so little of me. Mouse, you must understand, this too was an outcome I intended to be possible. Granted, I didn't think it likely. Still, it was always on the table. If you all were truly innocent of heart, you wouldn't be easily swayed by my words. Be calm, rational, work as a group, and evade the traps set for you. Jade Emperor talked a big game, but his annoyed tapping on a nearby table belied his Oh! And we did just that. Doesn't that prove you wrong? Prove that you going through all this trouble was for nothing? Perhaps. However, I wonder how many times you would have had to fail before you could get a success like this. Had to fail? The hell does that mean? Had this outcome been the result of a cosmic dice roll, I was just wondering how many times God would have to roll those dice to see something like this. I imagine quite a few times. I imagine more often than not, your sin would doom you. Sounds like a lot of bullshit coming from a sore loser. I don't know how little you think of us, but I know for sure that no matter how many times you'd put us through this, we'd always band together. If you say so. You only act smug for so long, Brian. Soon enough we're gonna be out of this place, and then you're going to jail for a long time. Indeed. I imagine the police won't look too favorably on all of this. My only regret is that I won't be able to land a punch on your face myself. You know, if you really want to, I'll let you. What do you mean? Outside the school, there's a football field. There's a small building right beside the fence surrounding that field. I've been using that as my base of operations. So if you want to come find me, to get justice yourself, that's where I'll be. And you're telling me this because? Think of it as a reward for a perfect victory. You can punch me in your father's absence. Although I doubt he'll say this is the correct form of justice. Still, it'd be a shame if you never got a chance to take vengeance for yourself before the police arrive. Being able to see this asshole face to face. Like before, something felt right about this suggestion. You know what? I think I'll do just that. I'm gonna knock you flat on your ass when this is all over. I look forward to it. Just like that, the speaker went dead. Feeling oddly good about the encounter, I exited the room. Soon after that, I saw a dragon angrily dragging Snake down the hallway. So I wonder what that might be about. I noticed Dog also following after. Oh. True protagonist dog. Before I could think too much about that, Bunny called out. Everybody gather around here right now. Let's all get together now. In an instant, he got the attention of the crowd. Before I knew it, people off on their own, even in separate classrooms, were standing in a group in the cafeteria. Everyone was gathered except for Dragon, Snake, and Dog. Is Dog going to try and save them without getting Brian's attention? Alright, we hear ya. Let me guess, you want to make a big old heroic speech about how we did it and we worked together. That's not exact. Well, guess what, fucko? You don't get to make that speech. I do. Now I know some of you might be wondering if I have the credentials to handle such a task. I assure you we are not. Well, it turns out I've made such a speech in a number of my films. A number of films I shall now completely list off in order of release date, accompanied with a brief summary of the flick as well as a quote from both the coolest and dumbest review of said film. To begin, I think everyone is willing to cede the floor to you on this one. Why, thank you, Monkey. I'm glad I've inspired so much faith in you. Gosh, to think I wouldn't even need to list my bona fides. Well, it brings a tear. Just get on with it! Wow, even Sheep is beginning to heckle. Damn, Sheep. Hell yeah. Get on with what? The speech. The speech? Right here, right now? You wanted to give it, didn't you? You stole this job from Bunny. I wasn't even gonna make a speech. Alright, if you insist, Pig. Gosh, I didn't even prepare anything. So, I guess I'll freestyle. Right, okay. Here we go. Speech time. Ahem. The plight of round 9 is ended. Thank God. Now let us see how the race has progressed. Okay, please save. Rat is hit to sneaking rat on Ox. Ox used a minor trinket. Ba-doom. Ba-doom. Tiger. Ba-doom. Bunny. Skadoosh. Dragon. Skadoosh. Oh, okay. Snake. Skadoosh. Horse. Skadoosh. Sheep. Skadoosh. Monkey. Skadoosh. Rooster. Skadoosh. Dog. Skadoosh. Pig. Skadoosh. Hell yeah. Dog did it. You're the man now, Dog. Winners are Mouse, Ox, Tiger, Bunny, Snake, Dragon, Horse, Sheep, Monkey, Rooster, Ox, Dog, Pig. Anyone who has not won has lost. Prepare for execution. Those ending lines hardly seemed apt. After all, we had made it through just fine. I heard the click of my necklace coming undone. We did it! Yeah, we did it! People began to remove their necklaces. A sense of achievement and celebration spread through the group. The feeling was infectious. After all, we were home free. Once that thing got off your neck, there was no imminent danger. The sheer weight these necklaces had may have been lost on us. Not the physical weight, but the weight of knowing that at any moment you may just die. The scene in front of me was a very comforting one. Pleasant one. But one I couldn't indulge in, because I remembered I had already made other arrangements. I didn't want to keep a certain someone waiting. Or someone who could notice I slipped away from the group. I made my way to the entrance of the school, or rather, the exit. I grabbed the doorknob and pulled. I expected that it would be locked. However, to my surprise, I was able to open the door quite easily. I suppose the collars on our neck were the real deterrent to leaving the building. As I walked outside, I could once again feel the sun on my skin. I could breathe fresh air. I was free. I could run straight back home. That's what I'd normally be thinking. However, none of those thoughts crossed my mind. Instead, I had a single goal in mind. Now, where did Brian say he was? I looked around, and soon enough I saw the small building by the football field he was referring to. I strode towards it confidently. There was some part of me, some bit in the back of my mind, which questioned why I felt so sure this was a good idea. That part wasn't louder than the part driving me forwards to punch a brat in the face. I gripped the doorknob. I felt confident. So I began to open the door. As I pulled it, I felt some weird resistance. Huh? My eyes darted downwards. Was that a wire in the door crack? However, right as I noticed that detail... Oh! I felt a deep shock to my back. Before I could open the door more than a crack, I collapsed to the ground. A dog? What was this? As my vision began to fade, I looked up, trying to see who my attacker was. I expected to see Brian, smirking, gloating that he had lured me into his trap. Instead, I found myself staring at an entirely separate face. An unexpected face. What are you doing here? That's all I could get out before passing out. What the hell do you mean I'm on hiatus? Look, I'm perfectly fine to continue working. It's already been well over a week since the incident, and in case you didn't know, I wasn't even injured or anything. I'm sure this is just you trying to be considerate, but believe me, getting back to work would put my mind at ease more than anything at this point. I've already rested just fine, thank you. What do you mean I've been compromised with personal bias? Prosecutors have always had personal biases. Everyone has personal biases. Doesn't mean I can't do my damn job. Therapy? Okay, I think you're not being objective right now. I get it. I'll take a break. We'll talk later. Thank you. You're really too kind. I still have some time, yes? Great, awesome. How about we do some questions? Anyone got anything they want to ask me? Yes, you in the back, in the red cardigan. How do I feel towards Brian when all's said and done? That's a real tough one, isn't it? To be clear, I'm just going to be talking from my own perspective on all of this. On the one hand, I think the little pipsqueak was pretty weak. I mean, I get being angry about injustice. But killing himself in that explosion when all was said and done? That's a coward's way out. If you have the conviction to set everything else up, I have the conviction to see things through. That's just my opinion of him. My feelings toward him? A bit of pity, I guess. Like he's been dealt a rough hand. To be honest, I kind of feel a bit thankful that he let me go through such a crazy experience. I'm sensing some of you are turning against me now. Am I supposed to be angry at him or something? Other than him, it's not like anyone got injured. Yes, I'm aware of the people who are still missing. Jeez, did you hear Bowen at that press conference earlier today? That was real brutal. I'm telling you, it's a sorry thing. Just because a nutjob believes something with a ton of conviction doesn't make that belief the least bit justified. Yet since the incident, there's been a number of people questioning if Brian could have been right. And how'd he get off honoring a complete psycho's will? Anyways, Bowen was completely prepared for the whole mess. Shocker. After dropping all that evidence, any disruptive rumors are sure to wash away. But, between you and me, wasn't some of that evidence, not exactly... Hey, of course, I'm not questioning Bowen at all. Of course not, he's completely legit. Aaron Morris is clearly guilty. The chief was just making that abundantly clear in a way that he saw fit. You're right, there's nothing to look into there. Anyways, it looks like he wants to completely bury the case. I know he always kept an eye on that thing, wondering if new leads might show up. Not because he expected any, just because it was, his brother who died and all. Now the state has to double down on the conviction unless we want a whole bunch of unrest. Which means bolstering the truth as much as possible. And getting rid of disruptions to that narrative. Hey man, could we talk in private after this shift? Yes, Mom, like I said before, I was just a victim in all this. I didn't have any involvement or anything. No, I don't know why I was targeted then. I think it's related to what happened with my previous boss. Amadeus. You're right, Mom, Amadeus was very sweet. It's a shame what happened to him. It's a shame that Aaron's selfishness led to his son also falling into... You're right, Brian doesn't have any excuse. He's a really bad kid. But he's gone now, and I'm safe, and there really isn't anything to worry about anymore. Okay, Mom. I need to get back to work. I love you. Yes, I was involved in the XXXX high school incident. What of it? No, really, it was incredible. You should have seen it. Everyone was completely freaking out, their faces flushed. I swear there were moments where completely collapsing into anarchy, brandishing weapons and killing each other in a frenzy. They were already scheming about how they would be the one to survive this horrid game. However, I wasn't going to accept any victims. Not on my watch. Of course you're playing the hero. All my brain particles were spent analyzing the situation, searching for a way to save the poor victims consigned with the rogue personality. It seemed like an impossible task, because of course it was meant to be. Then in a flash of inspiration, I realized it. It combined two of the major trinkets we already had found, to be able to ensure that everyone could get out alive. But when I pointed out the loophole, everyone just broke out into applause. Of course they did. Really, you had to be there. It's like I was really in one of my past movies. Well, and speaking of movies, I've already licensed the rights to this story, so look out for my next flick. It's sure to be a smash hit. Yes, I'm aware that I was responsible for counseling the accused. Why am I calling him the accused? The state has yet to officially make the case against him yet. Formality as it may be, I prefer the mantra innocent until proven guilty. At any rate, this whole incident naturally falls, to some extent, on me for not being able to give him the counseling required. I'm willing to face repercussions for my hand in not preventing this tragedy. However, I'd like to make my position clear. Brian was an incredibly disturbed individual. True, the trauma accounts for some of it, but only some of it. There was a much deeper darkness in him. I've recommended increased help to his mother several times, but it was always ignored. For some reason, she seemed to believe these gestures of mine were made in pursuit of financial gain, instead of concern for the boy. I noted to her that he had begun to skip our sessions. I do not wish to lay any more suffering on her doorstep at this time. She's already been overwrought with grief. However, I think that some responsibility for this falls on Brian's actual guardian. Still, I failed to do my job and people got hurt. I will take responsibility. No, Easy, it's insane! I've never been blowing up to this extent. The series of articles I published in the incident have been the go-to thing to read when you want to know what happened. I've been getting booked for so many different podcast appearances since I've been plugging non-stop. That means increased viewership on all my other projects. I hate to say it, but being kidnapped for that game might have been one of the best things to happen to me. Sure, there's been some side effects from going through that experience, like paranoia, panic attacks, insomnia, depression. But who cares? I had all that beforehand anyways. Oh, pig. Oh, gosh. So yeah, this is my one chance to really grip a hold of the public consciousness. If I ride this out properly, I can be set for life. Except for to capitalize on all this hype. How to do it? Obviously gotta work on some sort of video series doing a deep dive into it. Also been toying with the idea of writing an op-ed in defense of Brian. This incident happening in the first place is also a pretty scathing indictment of a bunch of different systems we have in place. So I can spin a few different articles on who's at fault for this whole thing. Hey, I could do a 6-part article series on that. Do you think I'm too young to publish a memoir? And now, we're back where we started.